Alright, we're going to look at my spin floor mechanic. Here you can see that the floor is in the shape of a T, and I can only access certain areas due to its rotation. I can change the rotation 90 degrees by triggering it. It's triggered by the player stepping on that button in the middle. As you can see, the button goes down. It lights up when it goes all the way down, comes back up, the light turns off, and the platform rotates. And if I trigger it in the middle, it does not work. It has to be stationary. Alright. Also, if I fall in the water, it's going to be back in its original rotation. Alright, so let's look at that in Blueprint. On Begin Play, we get the original rotation and set that as a variable. We also set that variable to the other variable that's going to stay consistent. We never touch this, it's just the start rotation. We set the end rotation by adding 90 degrees to the starting rotation. And we do the same thing for the end rotation. We save that variable for later. Binding event to the lever. This is just in case there is a lever connecting to this one. Not most of them do have one. But if it's valid, we're going to go ahead and bind to the event of it being triggered, and we're going to rotate the platform once. This is the sphere that you're going to see right over the button here, this sphere collision. When that is overlapped with, it's going to go ahead and E-lower the button, which is going to trigger this. And as you can see, it's only going to work if it's pressed. It's false. That's why it sets it to true here. It can't do it in the middle of it. It's going to play, it's going to set the relative location, lowering the button, and then it's going to determine, based on when it's completed, it's going to see whether it was pressed or not, and then reset it or trigger it. This is the reset custom event. And over here we have the actual rotation, E-rotate platform, which here it's calling the event E-rotate platform. It also calls any of the ones that are connected to it rotate, which is just doing that rotation on a timeline here. It's got the lerp from the start to end rotation, and then after it, it's going to set the new variables. It's going to get the actor relative rotation, set it to the start, and then add 90 to that and set to the end. And that's basically how that one works. Alright, now we're going to look at how my water blocks work. The water block is a very simple idea. It's literally just a cube mesh with no collision. There is a collision box on top of it that if it overlaps with the player and the scale of the actor, meaning the height of the water is a certain height, it's going to respawn them. As you can see, I also set it to do on tick, and the tick is activated when it's moving only. It's off otherwise. That way it can check for the player's height, because it's already beginning overlap right now, meaning it won't check again as it rises. So I had to add that tick event in order to counter that, and now it will reset as it rises. As you can see, it does not reset if it's below a certain height in the first room and this room, and if it's full, it resets as well. This plank is also part of the blueprint. It has collision, and its scale is just attached to the other actor, so it scales up and basically makes a path. So let's look at the blueprint. Alright, so on event begin play, we're going to go ahead and make a reference to the character so we don't have to cast every time that they overlap. We're also going to bind event to our levers. If it's valid, we're going to go ahead and bind an event to when it's triggered, and we also are going to set the starting water scale. So when it's triggered, we're going to play that water playing sound. If it has been triggered, we're going to set it to not, and we set actor tick enabled either way. And then we're going to play or reverse depending on triggered or not. Once it's finished, we're going to set water level was changed or not, and we're also going to turn tick off. So on the event tick, here we have the same logic. I'll show you in a different part. If the actor scale is past a certain point, 1.35, that's about the player's neck, it's going to go ahead and respawn the character, which is another function where it calls out to the player and calls their function respawn me, which is just to teleport to a certain location depending on the last checkpoint they were at. So that is that. One more thing, the on component begin overlap. Here's the actual drown event. As you can see, it's the same logic. If the scale is higher than the water step height, we're going to respawn the player and play that sound, which is just a water droplet sound. And that's it. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at the elevator. The elevator, originally I was going to have a button on it. I just did not program that. There was a couple of ways I wanted to do it, and I just kind of settled with the levers. So if I accidentally send it away, it'll trigger the lever. But yeah, if you step on it, it triggers, and if you press the lever, it triggers. I thought about automatically moving them just back and forth to add some difficulty and timing, but I just like the ability to be able to call them back with the levers that are used for the other two elements as well. But yeah, it's very basic. That's pretty much it. Call it back. If you accidentally send it and then die, it'll also reset. That way you can't just mess up the platforms. Let's look at the logic. Alright, so on event begin play, we go ahead and get the relative location of the platform mesh, which is the bottom one here. This is hidden in game, the destination mesh. You can move this literally anywhere you want in the world and it will work. It sets the rate of the timeline to a instance editable timeline, move time. And also, we bind the event to all the levers that are valid. If they're triggered, we're going to move the platform or reset the platform. And here we have that event, which is just moving from the start location to the end location on reverse or play, depending. The reason for all these extra booleans is because of the lever being triggered upon death. When the player respawns, it calls a whole bunch of events, re-triggering the lever, the water, the elevators, and the spin platforms. But here's on the overlap event. It's going to go ahead and move the platform as well. So, and on end overlap, it's going to set to not moving, if it was moving. And that just prevents the player from being able to trigger it multiple times while on top of it. But yeah, that's basically it.